Good league run behind them started as favourites, but Monaghan were always likely to give them the toughest of tests. Well, here's how it worked out. Your commentator is Peter Smith of the BBC.
Sean Kelly takes the free. I'll be too pleased that it's only as far as Declan Lockman. McGinnity in pursuit, and McGinnity collects. Did very well, there are two men tackling him, and he did even better to get that ball across. And there's a definite chance. And Jared McGurk, the man who scored a goal and a point against Antrim, puts that over the bar.
A great ball through to Stephen McGinnity from Declan Lockman. Gets possession, turns around, he sees Jared McGurk ghosting in behind the defence. Jared just fumbles on the first attempt, and with the goal just gaping, he knocks it over the bar.
Terry Hoy, a long clearance up towards Murphy and finds Murphy. It's a case of deja vu from the Antrim game. McEnany. Oh, that's a brilliant score from McEnany. A brilliant score from Eamon McEnany. Once again, the partnership does the trick. It was a long ball into Murphy. He picked it up, made the space, gave it to Eamon McEnany in space, and from all of 40 metres, he drilled it over the bar. Oh, Murphy just failed to hold that, but it's picked up by McGinnity. And he's waiting on men to come forward for him, but he's going on himself. Left-footed and over the bar.
If Eamon Murphy was the main man against Antrim, Stephen McGinnity in the full forward line is causing all the problems today. A delightful score by Stephen McGinnity.
Deegan did well to get in front of Murphy. And now Liam Austin. Nicely flick ball into James McCartan. We have seen very little of James today. He's been well shepherded by Dermot Jones. He was found on that occasion. He's looking for someone to run. And it's the man with his sore finger, Barry Breen. Cathal Murray. Right foot. Oh, off the post. Very unlucky from Cathal Murray. Terry Hoy does well to get that ball out. And now it's Frank McEnany. And he in turn finds Ray McCann. Ray collects at the second attempt. And yes, there it goes into that space again. Now it's a race between Murphy and Deegan. And Deegan does very well to collect that ball. One of the fastest men in training on the down team, Conor Deegan. And he certainly showed it on that occasion. Blaney. Cathal Murray down are now starting to play some of the football that they showed in the league. And here's a man who scored throughout the league. That's Paul Higgins, the cornerback. Leaves it to Ambrose. And in Down's best move of the day, Ambrose puts it over the bar.
Significantly, that move started all the way back with Conor Deegan at full-back, who's winning the tussle back there from Paul Higgins into Ambrose Rogers on his left foot, straight through the middle. That was a sweeping move from Down.
2 points between the sides, and that was really the first flash that we've seen of the Down football. Micheál Greenan gets the second half underway, and it's Liam Austin who gets Down into attack. Terry Hoy, a long hanging ball in the middle of the field, and is picked up well by Ray McCann. Eamon Murphy didn't collect, and now it's a race again. Jared McGurk is beaten for the tussle that time by John Kelly. John was captain of Queen's Sigerson team. And now it's Shorty Traynor. Mickey Linden. All on his own. There's a man coming inside him. And it's the overlapping fullback, Paul Higgins. And that's a great score by Paul Higgins.
As so often happens with a man playing out in a third midfielder, Eamon McEnany has come out. He's brought Paul Higgins with him up into attacking position, and as good a score from a cornerback as you'd see. Beautifully over the bar.
And the deficit now is just the 1 point. Paddy Linden being overworked at the start of the second half. Noel Moran trying to get him on an attack going. Back McEnany. And now it's Moran again. Kevin Hughes. A goal and 3 points he scored against Antrim. And he repeats the dose today. Another inspired substitution by Paddy Kerr.
This man who came on and played a blinder in the last few minutes against Antrim certainly has an eye for goal. Delightful shot with the inside of the boot, curls it over. He may make a difference.
So that all-important 1 point stays in favour of Monaghan, but that's a poor clearance. Now it's John Kelly. Kelly's shot. In towards McCartan. McCartan's trying to get round. He shoots. It's a goal by McCartan. Well, he might only be 19 years of age, but when he got that ball, there was a buzz from the crowd, and in a few short seconds, he showed why. Forced his way around the defender, shot almost off balance, and Paddy Linden had no chance at all.
This is John Kelly who picked up the bad kick from Paddy Linden. Seen James McCartan in behind the defence. James waited for the ball, and when he got it in his hands, he had nothing but goal on his mind. He wasn't going to be content with the point. Rounded Dermot Jones and whacked it home. Great goal.
Now the chances are falling Down's way. McEnany pumps it in towards Murphy. David Cannon. What can he do? He can put it over the bar. That's what he can do.
There's a great response to the down pressure of the last couple of minutes. With the outside of his boot, McCartan judges it superbly. A good score at a pressure point.
Bernie Murray. Well done by Deegan. He's done a great job in the second half on Eamon Murphy. And that's McCartan. Ambrose Rogers. Ambrose all on his own. Lobs it over Linden's head and into the net. Ambrose is pleased with that. That was a goal of real class. It started with a confident catch by McCartan. He straight away lobbed at Ambrose Rogers. Ambrose all on his own. He had a man inside. He noticed that Linden had come off the line. And just look at that.
When the ball arrived with Ambrose, he knew there was nobody about. He just took his time, looked up. When the keeper approached him, a delightful chip from a very confident player.
Out towards Murphy. Oh, he needed to catch that one. And Conor Deegan, glad of the chance, comes upfield. He's looking for somebody. It's still Deegan. And he drops a hopeful ball in towards Linden now and have to get the whole way back down the field again to pick up Eamon Murphy. Kelly. Now Shorty Trainer. Cathal Murray well collected in the chest by Cathal Murray. If that goes over the bar, and it did, that's the best point of the afternoon.
Cathal Murray won that ball under tremendous pressure. And what a score from out on the wing. Great point.
And it's full to Ray McCann. He'll have to lob it in. He does, but McGinnity can't get there. DJ Kane has done a good job on Stephen McGinnity. He hasn't got the room that he had in the first half.
I think with only a minute or so left and the deficit as it is, they'll have to go for goal. And I think he will.
Well, there's the lob in. Murphy's on it. And it's a goal! Well, they certainly took our instructions, Peter.
And to set them up nicely now with one more attack at least.
A lob into the goal mouth from McEnany. The ball broke, and of course it was that man Kevin Hughes. Kevin Hughes picked it up. There was a deflection and left Neil Collins no chance whatsoever. So
A good leap in the middle by Jerry McCarville and Eamon Murphy, but when it fell to Hughes, he too has a nose for goal. Back of the net.
Collie Burns with the kick. Looking for a runner, and he's found it in Shorty Trainer. Shorty, oh, what a burst of speed. What's on here? Cathal Murray. And it's in the back of the net. There's a very pleased young man, Cathal Murray. A goal and 6 points he scored.
John Sweeney going at goal. Probably over-elaborated by passing it into Cathal Murray. But Cathal Murray took the chance, although I'd say Paddy Lynn will be disappointed.
As will all of Monaghan, but I'm sure you'll agree a well-deserved down victory there. Well, that was the last kick of the match. In fact, the final score was down 3-11, Monaghan 1-12. The commentators there were Jimmy Smith and Peter McGinnity. And to Colin, that was an interesting game of football by all accounts.
It certainly was, because you had Monaghan, a vastly experienced team, pitched against a young, skillful but inexperienced down team. And right from the start, Monaghan played to their strengths. In the back line, they marked the down forwards very closely. Monaghan got a lot of breaks at midfield through their experience once more, and the forwards took their chances. And also they punished any mistakes by the down backs. And they looked very good for a long time, but then Down came more and more into the game and won a lot of possession. But often their build-up was very laboured, and their passes were either intercepted after 5 or 6 good passes, or else they kicked badly. But towards the end, it was obvious from the amount of play that Down had that they had to get the scores, and they did this by scoring 3 goals, 2 very, very good goals.
I suppose Monaghan were always going to give Down a good game of it today, because although maybe past the peak of this team, and they've done very well over the past 5-6 years, they've been around a long time, this Monaghan team. There's a lot of experience there.
There certainly is, and I'm sure some of those have played in 9 or 10 Ulster championships, whereas a lot of the Down fellas, this was their second or first for some of them indeed. And here's a good example, a long ball kicked in by Declan Lockman. Now there are 4 or 5 down backs there to pick it up, but when they do, through an experience, they give the ball away. Monaghan show their experience by getting into position very quickly. Eamon Monaghan breaks the ball to Ray McCarran, and Ray McCarran, a beautiful shot. So the smallest mistake by Down was punished very severely by Monaghan today.
Well, a lot of young new players on that Down side that obviously the county will be looking to with hope in the future, but not without experience themselves in the side. An experienced head in every sense, indeed, was a man who scored 1 vital score for them.
Yeah, certainly. With any young team, you need 1 or 2 experienced campaigners in amongst them, and I think that proved vital for Down today. Here we have a long kick going in, and it's beautifully broken down by Conor Deegan to John Kelly, who for once uses the long ball. Brilliantly caught by James McCartan, who spots the old head Ambrose Rogers inside the defence, and Ambrose does everything right here because he drew the goalie and then tripped over the goalie's head. A younger player in a position like that might be tempted to let fly as hard as he could and to rebound off the goalkeeper, but they certainly needed the old head in the right place today.
A fine goal that by Ambrose. I think he enjoyed it himself.
I would say so.
Who did you pick as the man of the match from this one?
Yeah, we had some very good performances. Eamon McEnany, I thought, led by example for Monaghan, and for Down we had Conor Deegan and John Kelly in defence, and James McCartan, Cathal Murray and Ambrose Rogers in the attack. But for sheer consistency right through the game, I give the man of the match award to Conor Deegan, because I think that he inspired right through when other players were playing badly. And in the beginning he had some problems, but got over Eamon Murphy very, very well. Here we see him. He was, for a full-back, he was willing to come out past the forwards and go for the ball, and full of confidence all day. And it's very nice to see a ball-playing full-back for a change, besides somebody who stands back and pulls and drags and so on.
OK, well done to Conor Deegan, and thank you very much indeed. Well, in a moment, the rest of the day's sports news from Miles Dungan. But first,